Kelvin, will whoever becomes our next Prime Minister in September make any difference to what's happening in southern England?
Well, what is bizarre is in every policy that they've discussed, the one area that they never go into is the one which, if either of them could solve it, or anybody could solve it within the Tory party, they would win. They'd win by acclamation. They wouldn't have to have a vote. The truth about the matter is that I think Priti Patel has done her best. After all, she's Home Secretary. She wasn't the Prime Minister. She couldn't just push through any policy she fancied. But it's quite clear that Rwanda was an idea. Whether it turns out to be a too small idea, I don't know. And I get the impression that what Truss says is that she wants to widen the Rwandan operation, i.e. go to other countries. And I'm sure that if we wrote a big enough check to everybody, we could get some of them away. But it's going to take more than 200 a time. And it's going to take a massive push from within the cabinet. The country is with a decision which is going to solve this problem. We're talking about tens of thousands of people coming here. And of course, this is literally costing us billions now. It is literally billions per year. And not only that, bizarrely, we haven't now got enough hotel space or flat space. Why do you think the cost of accommodation in our country is going through the roof? Right, you talking about your favourite media, The Guardian, right? Just look at what they're writing about, the cost of rents in the country. The cost of rents are going up 15, 20, 25% annually, bigger than normal inflation. Why is this happening? It's happening because we've got tens of thousands of people who have to be accommodated, and they cannot be accommodated in the present system. And yet nobody. Well, I mean, you're a media commentator, the same as everybody else. Tell me, have you ever heard Rishi say what we're going to do about this? Have you ever heard anybody say it? Since 2016, we are now coming up to our fourth Prime Minister, our fourth Conservative Prime Minister. By the way, I guarantee you that Truss gets beaten in 2 years' time, in which case we'll have a fifth Tory Prime Minister in 6 years. Right? Have you ever heard any of them say, this is the solution, this is where I'm going to put my shoulder to the wheel, I'm going to spend your money to solve this issue?
Well, why don't we let me put the obvious solution. Why don't we just pull out of the European Court of Human Rights? We're not part of the European Union. Why do we have to be part of a European legal framework in which an Azerbaijani judge or an Albanian judge, I'm just going through it from A to Z. I got nothing against Albanians or Azerbaijanis, but I'd like those Azerbaijani and Albanian judges to make laws for Albanians and Azerbaijanis, and I don't see why English common law should get trumped by an Azerbaijani jurist on the European Court. What's the political downside in pulling out of that?
There is no political downside. But as I think I've discussed with you once before, they basically are being held in the grip of our legal system because our Supreme Court have clearly said on the quiet to the Home Secretary, we will support you in your ambitions, but the minute you pull out of the European quotes, quote unquotes, we are going to come after you and we are not going to give you a go-ahead to do anything else. It's as simple as that. The truth about the matter is our country is basically run by the Supreme Court. It is not run by the cabinet.